Hi, I'm Michael Dean. Welcome to AI with Michael Dean. This channel helps everyday people, especially those over 50, learn practical ways to use artificial intelligence. I'm retired and I use Chat GPT almost every day, not, not to write computer code, but to solve everyday problems. Today I'm going to show you 10 real examples of how I use Chat GPT, from maintaining my swimming pool in my backyard to travel, to improving my health, to understanding investing, and creating this YouTube channel. I'll also show you the prompts so you can try them yourself. Let's get started.
Hey, in this example, I almost daily or a couple times a week get a pool sample from my swimming pool, and I take that to get a chemical analysis from Leslie's Pool Supply. And I like that. I took a picture of their results and put it here into Chat GPT and asked it to analyze it and tell me what they do. And I like to do this because oftentimes um, their their recommendations are more about selling product, and I just want to see what they said. And in this case, I've had some trouble with the acid levels in my pool and all that. And what it's recommending I do is use liquid chlorine versus the tablets that the Leslie's try to sell me. So it's really been helping me get my pool cleaned up. Okay, in this example, I'm just asking ChatGPT to give us some healthy meal ideas around the fact that we don't eat any sugar. We've lost a lot of weight by getting rid of seed oils and all that, eating a lot of beef and a lot of um, vegetables and a lot of salad and etc. And then it comes back and tells us some of the things to do and some of the ways that it would do in terms of what it would cook for the day, and then ultimately here it gives a shopping list of what to do and where to buy it, and in this case it's chicken breasts and all that kind of stuff. And so in the end, with desserts and all that, I get a really good meal plan for the day of what we can go cook that's healthy. Okay, in this example, I walk a lot every day with my dogs and all that, and I'm 67 years old, and I ask it, what I should do. It's remembered a lot of the stuff it's been helping me do and all that, and I tell it I do about 15,000 steps a day, and I'm asking, what does that do to my body? How's that help me? How's that help with longevity? How does that build on my quality of life? And ultimately, it gives me some suggestions for doing that, and then looking ahead about what that does and how that's all healthy and all that. And so it gives me a great plan that's aligned to what I do every day. And you could do the same thing with that same kind of request. Okay, I'm going to ask it, kind of switch gears here a little bit. I've been talking kind of personal stuff, and I'm really going to talk about investing, which is a big hobby of mine. And I ask it, is value investing kind of out of favor today in today's market? And it comes back and it starts talking about Warren Buffett's value investing today. Now, I think it should have talked about Benjamin Graham because that's where he learned it all. But he talks about buying outstanding businesses, ones with strong cash flow, low debt, you know, good management, all that kind of stuff. And then I asked it, hey, can you build me a portfolio? And it comes back and it says, sure. And it said, here's a portfolio I do if I put $100,000 out there. And it put in Berkshire, but it also put in things like Alphabet. And then it started listed out some other companies. And I don't necessarily agree with everything it did. It did show me how to allocate all that. But what I'd encourage you to do is take and do a Chat GPT prompt like this, and put some of the stocks you're interested in and see how they fit against value investing, and whether they're a good value, and see what kind of response you get. I think you might be in surprised what you find. Um, I know you'll see a lot more of this kind of stuff from me as I move forward here. Hey, in this case, we're going to Copenhagen, Denmark, and with my wife and I in August, and we're asking it, where the 2 nights we're there, what could we go do? And it comes back and it gives us, a 2 day itinerary of all the places to visit, places to eat, things about lunch, places for dinner, how to wind down, and then at the very end it gives a budget of, what to expect in terms of money to be spent, etc. I encourage you anywhere you're traveling to do the same type of prompt. Put in there, hey, I'm traveling somewhere, put in for 2 days and give me an itinerary. And it'll come back and it'll give you that itinerary and you'll really enjoy your travel. And this only takes you about 30 seconds to plan out. So it really, really saves you a lot of time. Here's a prompt I did. I took a picture of my swimming pool and I was asking it, based on that picture, tell me how many gallons is in my pool. I'm always having a hard time figuring out the chemicals. And it came back and told me what it estimates the size of that, and I use that every day. That's a prompt you can use too. This is another prompt you can use. I just had a blood test, physical I was doing, and I just wanted to know based on the results, what should I expect? And it comes back and tells me how to think about all that stuff they do in a blood test when you have your physical. You can ask the same type of prompt on in your basis, and from a medical standpoint, it'll come back and tell you what it is. Now, I'm not suggesting you put your real blood stuff in there. I think you got to be careful about that. Put it in your actual information. You can come back and ask it what to think about. Okay, here again, I'm taking advantage of. I take a picture of my front yard landscaping and ask it, what would I do to improve it? What should I do? How's it look? Where can I buy stuff to put in it? What kind of plants would you put in? And it comes back and, you know, talks about how I can simplify it and, looking at the existing plants there, and adding different things and putting more structure to it and more color and all these different things. And then it'll eventually come back and tell me where I could what I should kind of plant there, or maybe where I can go buy this stuff. You can do the same thing with one of these um, prompts. Put in your landscape, take a picture of your front yard, throw it in there and ask it what it's gonna how it should do it, and you might be surprised at the answer that it gives you. This is a pretty simple one. I basically went in and asked it, if you're going to create a YouTube channel, how do you do that? What would you do? It comes back, gives you an answer, how to lay it out, how to put the profile, how to, verify your channel, how to put all that stuff together. And, you could do the same thing on a prompt. If you're ever interested in building a YouTube channel, it'll tell you how to do it and how to load it and all that good stuff. So, try that prompt and you might be surprised what you find. Okay, this is the last video in this little series I'm doing, and I just asked it, help me plan my day. Tell me what I should do all day. And, after going through all this, it's kind of following me, and it's telling me, what I would do in the morning, what I do in lunch, how I'd kind of keep working on this channel that I'm building here and all that. You can do the same thing. Put that prompt in there and see what it comes back and tells you, and you might be surprised.
Okay. So I just did, 10 prompts basically you can do out there. And what a prompt is, you go into Chat GPT and you're asking it, to do something for you. Something you might need, some kind of business problem, some kind of thing you want to solve, some kind of question you want to ask. And I tried to give you a number of examples, and I'll keep doing that as I do this channel. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope what you do is you don't try and like replicate exactly what I did, but take some of those ideas. Example, like on the investment side, go in there and ask it, is value investing in vogue today? And if so, what kind of stocks? Or instead of saying that, ask it to tell you what stocks would you that are you're interested in, how do they fit into that criteria? And so you can kind of study that way without having to go out there and get all this market information. It's a lot of noise every day and all that. And this helps you start looking at stuff very, very analytically. And I hope you enjoy it and use it to create your own prompts. And I hope you enjoy and look forward to you subscribing my site. Thank you.